There was once a time when no one loved him. He was poor, his mother was depressed, and his dad was fighting an alcohol addiction. Surely there was absolutely no way that this small, skinny kid from the slums of Madeira could make anything of his life, right? But what if I told you this was the story of Cristiano Ronaldo? Before of the cars, the women, the rivalries, the goals, the Ballon d'Ors, everything started right here, in a small house on the riverside of Fugal, Madeira. See, Maria Aviana was stuck in two minds. She was pregnant with her fourth child, but she knew deep down that something wasn't right. Her family was enslaved to poverty, and her husband was fighting his own demons, and in her mind, there was no reason at all to have another child. Naturally, she thought of having an abortion, but her faith in God prevented her from going through with this plan. Unknowingly, she made the best decision of her life as baby Cristiano was born on February 5th, 1985. Fast forward to 1995, Ronaldo was now 10 years old and he was scoring every single week for his amateur club Andorrina. Even though he was clearly the best young player in Madeira, no big club would take a chance on him. That's until his godfather changed his life and got him a trial with Sporting. This was the move that affected the history of football. After impressing in the trial, of course Ronaldo got offered the chance to be in their academy. But everything wasn't rosy in Lisbon, mainly because he was the new kid on the block with a weird small island accent, and he was with all the stuck-up kids from the city. Every day he was bullied for his accent, the way he looked, and his financial status. No one truly knew Cristiano, but they knew that he came from a poor family, so they were used as his ammunition to make fun of him. He cared about the abuse, but he knew he couldn't react, as it would mean that he would be kicked out of his new school and sent back to Madeira. But one day, he just snapped. During a class presentation, his teacher made a sly comment about his mother, commented on the way he spoke and that it was clear that he was raised in a poor community. Ronaldo cares about his mother more than anyone else in this world, so he just lost it. He threw the chair at the teacher and ran out the room. This was the first example of his love for his mother. However, he never truly had the same relationship with his father, as his father was never there. Maybe he was physically there, but mentally he was stuck in a different world. Jose Aviello was a war veteran that was clearly going through the horrible effects of PTSD, but a young Cristiano just couldn't comprehend the reason for his alcoholism. He just saw a father that abandoned him emotionally his whole entire life. Cristiano was only young when his father succumbed to the effects of his liver disease. Honestly, it was hard for Ronaldo to cope with, so he made a promise to himself that he would never drink alcohol in his life. He didn't care about the football culture at the time. He only had one goal in his life: to make his mother proud. See, professional football was the only way out of poverty, but Cristiano said that he would do it the right way. He was now 15, the star player in the Sporting Academy, and he was ready to break into the first team. Then he had one call that changed his life. His doctor rang him in the summer of 2000 to tell him that he had to retire from football. Ronaldo had been diagnosed with tachycardia. This is a condition where the heart receives too much blood and causes the body to overwork. This actually might sound good for an earlier athlete, but this meant that Ronaldo was at the high risk of a heart attack at any moment. Cristiano thought that his career was over before it had even begun. His mother had different ideas though. She looked at her son and knew that all he ever wanted in this world was to become a professional footballer. She asked the doctors for a solution. The doctor then explained that there was a risky heart surgery that could actually kill Cristiano if it went wrong. However, if it goes right, he could play football at a high level. Maria had to make a decision. Does she ruin this crazy football dream, or does she risk the life of her son? In the end, she chose to risk it all. Luckily for her, Ronaldo's surgery went perfectly and he moved past the condition. But this was only the beginning of the story. The junior turning point for Cristiano was in 2003 when Manchester United came to town. And it's crazy to think that some random friendly between Sporting Lisbon and Manchester United would chase the history of football, but an 8-year-old Ronaldo was absolutely terrorising the United defence all game. He caused seasoned professionals to look like silly amateurs. After the game, this United team was perplexed by this kid. The whole bus ride home saw players like Paul Scholes and Ryan Giggs begging Sir Alex to buy this kid. They had never seen a player like him before. This was their only hope to beat Arsenal's invincible side. It only took Sir Alex 6 days to pull the trigger. Ronaldo signed for the English Giants for a fee of £12 million. But this might have been the best 12 million spent in the history of football. Ronaldo wasted no time terrorising English defences, embarrassing legends such as Ashley Cole. But by the end of the season, he was no longer this unknown teenager from Portugal, and he had shown the world who he truly was. He scored a goal in the FA Cup final and won his first trophy in English football. The English media were in love with him. They loved this idea of this young maverick who just didn't care about the rules. He dribbled like a madman. The kids loved him, the ladies loved him, and even the English public loved him. And he went on to win a Ballon d'Or a few years later and 4 more of the last decade to cement himself as this big old-time great. But wait, it wasn't that easy. See, throughout his career, Ronaldo went through some of the most hate of any footballer had to endure in the history of the entire sport. It didn't matter what he did, people would find a way to hate on him. It all started in 2006 with his famous wink. Wayne Rooney was considered the last true English hope. He had the whole weight of the country on his shoulders. But there is one man in his way, Cristiano Ronaldo. They faced off in the World Cup quarterfinals. See, Ronaldo knew how to get under Ruby's skin, so he spent the whole game trying to provoke him, waiting for him to snap. And to no one's surprise, he did. When going in for a 50-50, Rooney decided to stamp on Carvalho's nether regions. The ref wasn't actually going to send him off until his Manchester United teammate came over to literally beg for a red card. Rooney was disgusted by Ronaldo's actions, but Cristiano got his wish. As he was walking away from the scene of the crime, Ronaldo delivered the most famous wink in football history. This sent the English media into a complete frenzy, and the whole of England started a hate campaign against him. It didn't matter what he did, he would get booed at every single Premier League ground for the following years. Even after winning the Ballon d'Or in 2008, the English never truly forgave him. This hate helped fuel his move to Spain, where he felt like he could do no right. He was now in direct competition with the Barcelona golden child, Lionel Messi. The media immediately started to create their narratives. Nice and humble Messi versus the arrogant and rude Cristiano Ronaldo. He loved being the bad guy though, as he even played into some of the disrespectful comments made by the FIFA president at the time. Sepp Blatter called Ronaldo a drill sergeant, which basically implied he was like a robot and nowhere as good as Messi. See, Ronaldo never really had it easy. It felt like he was always fighting the whole media alongside this Barcelona super team. Everything he did was completely scrutinized. It came to a point where fans thought that there was a genuine agenda against Ronaldo in the media. He won 4 Ballon d'Ors in only 5 years, but the media will always say that he was washed at the start of every single season. It was embarrassing to watch. Ronaldo actually started a season slow once, with only 4 goals in his first 25 games of a La Liga season. But then he scored 25 goals in 20 games and won his 4th Ballon d'Or. It never mattered what the media said about him, he will always shut them up. That wasn't until recently though. Fast forward into 2022, it was the first time in his career where he's put on the bench. His manager at Manchester United didn't rate him at all, and he was honestly not performing what he used to. But the media didn't care. They used his time to beat a man when he was down. Article after article, Ronaldo was berated for not being at his best. Even at 37 years old, he was held to the same standards as a player in his prime. Well, Ronaldo had enough. He then went on the Piers Morgan show to expose what he was feeling at the time. He told the world the truth about Manchester United and the truth about his current coaches. His fans backed his every move, but this interview just made his haters hate him even more. The whole world was now against Ronaldo, but he refused to give up. Even after a lackluster World Cup, Ronaldo decided not to retire and moved to Saudi Arabia giants Al Nassr. This is where he discovered his old form back. He scored 54 goals in 2023, but again, this wasn't enough to get the critics off his back. The new excuse that they used was that he was playing in a Saudi league. Ronaldo was once again the most potent goal scorer in the world though, and his friends knew that he was finally back to his old self. Everything was built up for the 2024 Euros. He was fresh off a 44-goal season in Saudi Arabia and was ready to show the world the new version of Cristiano Ronaldo. But again, there was a case of pure disrespect in the media. On July 1st, 2024, Portugal faced Slovenia in a round of 16 match of the European Championships. The whole world was salivating over the potential of the superstar Portugal side. Bruno Fernandes, Ruben Dias, Bernardo Silva, Rafael Leao, all the primes of their careers. But the media only seemed to care about one person. Even though Portugal won the game on penalties, the only player being talked about again was Cristiano Ronaldo. He must be ridiculed for his missed penalty in extra time. The famous BBC publication was so hell-bent on embarrassing him that they posted a segment and called him Cristiano Ronaldo. This of course didn't go down well with the footballing world, and they was later forced to apologize for that amateurish mistake. After 20 years of being at the top level, Ronaldo was still fighting for his reputation every single game. But there's still a question to be answered. Why does everyone hate Cristiano Ronaldo? I think that there is only one explanation though.
They don't like me, but because maybe I'm too good. I don't know why.
Thank you for watching to the end of this video, and I hope you're ready for the new era of mindful football. We're going to be giving you the most interesting stories across the footballing world every single week. Please turn on your notification bell if you enjoy it. And never forget, keep on thinking and stay mindful, family.